my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about this new concealer from Huda Beauty. This is the Faux Filter Luminous Matte Concealer. According to the info that Huda Beauty sent over with these two concealer shades they sent me, it seems that these will be available everywhere on June 13th. If I get any different information about release times, places, retailers, all that stuff, I'll update the description box for you. This will be available in 29 different shades, and it will be priced at $29 US. According to the little info page that they sent me along with this concealer, it says that this is suitable for all skin types. We'll see, because I have dry skin and matte things usually don't work well for me. It says that their 29 shades are meant to suit all skin tones and all undertones. A lightweight formula with insane buildability for customized coverage, which is great because I don't like a full coverage. You'll get to see this in action today for me with more of a medium coverage. I don't build it all the way up to full coverage because I just don't like that for me. It says it doesn't mask skin and always enhances your natural beauty. It's vegan friendly, fragrance free, water, sweat, and transfer proof. I will also test that in the wear test today because it's a warm one out and I'm going to do some chores wearing this makeup. I'm also going to walk the dog outside and see how it holds up. First, I'll show you a close-up look at the packaging, all the different components, the applicator. Then we will get into the demo and wear test. So first, let's take a close-up look at this concealer. Huda Beauty tends to keep it pretty straightforward, pretty streamlined when it comes to the packaging of these more staple type products. So you can see everything's clearly labeled on the actual concealer and the box. It has this matte look to it, but this is a plastic component. It's not glass, so it is pretty lightweight. And you can see the doe foot here is an oversized doe foot, but unlike the Tarte Shape Tape, for example, this has a curved surface instead of that cupped doe foot. So it is a little bit different here, but it is a large, big old oversized doe foot applicator. That's one thing that I've noticed about this is whenever I kind of have to like pull the wand out and then some concealer always flies out. I splattered some on my pants earlier. This time I got on my thumb, which is easier to clean, but that's just kind of weird. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's just sort of a little flaw. Next, I'm going to show you the application of this product, and you'll get to see a side-by-side with half of my face with concealer and half just my bare skin, and then we'll jump straight into the wear tests. So let's start with the application demo. They sent over these two different shades for me to try, so I have 2.5 and 2.7, so nougat and coconut flakes. I'm just going to do a little test on my cheek here, just put a little bit of each concealer side by side, more towards my neck area, and then I'll blend those out a little bit and get a sense of which I think is going to be the better match. So 2.5 is a little bit too yellow golden for me. I was afraid that 2.7 would be too dark, but as we go on, it ends up being a great undertone and a great tone for me. First, I'm just going to do a couple little tiny dots here right under my eye so that I can get a sense for what the coverage and the finish looks like before I go all in on the rest of my face. So here you can see just a couple little dots of concealer versus a completely bare under eye, and I think the coverage looks really great. Just this initial application with a really light amount of concealer and blending out with the finger ended up looking really nice. So next I'm gonna go in lightly across the rest of the face, just on the same side here, so that we can continue with a side-by-side look as we build this coverage. And I'm doing the same approach here at first, just adding a little teeny tiny bit of this concealer and then blending in just with my clean fingertip. And this actually gives me the right amount of coverage for what I would wear on a day-to-day basis. I do not love a ton of coverage, and I think that this was super easy and just really, really beautiful. However, for the sake of this wear test, I am going to build it up a little bit. I wanted to test the buildability, and I'm going to do a little bit more glamorous look for a different video later. So I'm adding a little bit more here, and this time I'm blending out with my little e.l.f. Concealer brush, and this worked really well too. It was super fast. I didn't have to hurry up and blend out. It wasn't just drying straight down to my skin and becoming impossible to work with. So that's always a great feature in a more matte product for me. And the buildability looks great. It didn't flake up on me. It didn't become difficult to blend in over the previous application. I think it looks really, really nice. It's definitely giving me coverage. You can see in this side by side, it's really evened out the skin, covered up some of my redness and unevenness, but it still looks very nice and natural. It doesn't look like a flat matte. It still is bringing a little bit of that luminous look. I was skeptical about this because I do have very dry skin. So I want to give you a close look here. This is the bare skin. Nothing is on this side. And then when we flip over to the other side where I've applied the Faux Filter Luminous Concealer, you can see that it still has the texture of skin. You can still see a little bit of my natural coloration coming through, but it's really, really evened things out, and I'm just overall really impressed. So of course I've got to go through and even up the other side of my face. Now that I have a better feel for what the coverage is like on this, I'm just going to quickly go through adding a little bit more on this side instead of building up slowly like I did initially, and quickly blending that out with this little e.l.f. brush. It went really, really easily. I feel like this is already so much more impressive than I expected. And when we look at the finished face here, this is just the concealer. This is giving me as much coverage as I would possibly want even out of a foundation. And you can see the light is still bouncing off the skin a little bit. It looks nice and even, but it still looks healthy. It still looks like skin. Now, around the nose, I noticed when I got really, really close up, that was where it looked the most dry, but the under eyes look surprisingly nice and fresh. Typically, mattes are just a nightmare in the under eye area for me, as well as the forehead wrinkle area, so we'll see how this wears as time goes on. So far, so good. Okay, first check-in for this concealer. As you can see, I finished the rest of my makeup. I only added blush, eyeshadow, mascara, and lip gloss. So I don't have any powder, I didn't do primer, I don't have any setting spray. All I added on my actual face is some blush. So my blush and eyeshadow are the new releases from Lethal Cosmetics, and I'm going to do a whole video with those two. I'm not sure which one's going to go up first, but if you're curious about the rest of my makeup, first of all, I always link it in the description box, and second of all, I will have a video for the rest of this makeup look soon. Now, enough about that. Let's take a look at how this concealer is performing so far. It's only been a little over an hour, but I have a bunch of household stuff I need to take care of, so we're gonna get a good wear test because it's pretty hot outside today. It's in the high 80s, so I'm gonna walk my dog out in the heat, and I also have to do some regular chores like cleaning type of stuff. So this will get a good little wear test, but I want you to see what it looks like beforehand, before I do all those things, because it may end up getting ugly, and right now I think it actually looks pretty good. The shade ended up being much better match than I expected, so I just put it on my face. I didn't put it onto my neck, and it seems pretty darn good. So shade wise, I'm actually much happier with it than I thought I was going to be. Let's get a nice close-up look at the texture here. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. I think just around the nose area, it does look a little bit dry, but it actually looks pretty good on my forehead, and I do tend to get a lot of dryness in this area, and I think it looks very skin-like here. The under eyes are another area where I worry a lot about dryness and crepiness, and so far they look pretty good. I mean, this area right here, it looks very skin-like, I think. The only really dry spot is around my nose, and that is my worst area for dryness. But don't have any caked up nose gunk yet. So as far as my cheeks and the rest of my face, I think it looks really good. I'm surprised that this is a matte faux filter product. I think the overall appearance so far looks pretty good. So we'll see how it holds up to a rigorous day of heat and chores and cleaning. We'll see what happens. So I'll see you back in a few hours. Okay, I'm back. Maybe looking a little worse for wear. Like I said, I had a lot of things to do today. We're gonna touch up the lip gloss. I'm not gonna touch up anything else though. But my lip color is long gone. But we're not gonna touch up anything else. I did have to change my shirt because I was sweating. But I did a very, very rigorous wear test for you. It hasn't been a super long wear test. I've only been wearing this makeup for about 5 hours. It's about 85 degrees outside and very sunny. We typically go on about a 45-minute-ish long walk 2 or 3 times a day. So I did one of those. I don't feel like my face really sweat that much, but I definitely changed my shirt when I got home, so we'll see. I also wore sunglasses, and I think you can kind of tell the little sunglasses mark. It's not too bad, but you know, that's just something that happens when you wear sunglasses. It ends up kind of disrupting your makeup. Let's see if there were any other disruptions. We're gonna take a really close-up, zoomed in look at my skin and see how this concealer held up. Let's zoom her right in. The sunglass mark isn't actually that bad. It looks like it's worse on this side. You know, sometimes your sunglasses aren't quite even and they like rest more on one side. So I think that's probably why this side looks a little bit worse. I think as I was wearing this throughout the day and it kind of warmed to my skin, it sort of melted in a little better. It does look like I wore off a little bit of my coverage along the bridge of my nose here. Pretty impressed with how well my blush stayed on. Maybe lost a little bit of coverage right here, but you can tell even back here the coverage pretty good. Looks pretty good on the chin. Let's look at this side. It looks like my mascara flaked off a little bit. I do have quite a bit of glitter of little sparkles fall out from my eyeshadow, but definitely to be expected when you're out in the elements as much as I was today. Let's take a look at the forehead. Forehead looks pretty good. Sometimes I'll get product really collecting in my little forehead wrinkles, and I don't see any of that here. The forehead actually looks great. Now, I know it's looking pretty luminous. Part of that is just sweat. But, you know, that's what skin does, so. Looks like the same spot right here may have lost a little coverage, but overall I think the face looks really good. Let's see, did we get any nose gunk? Just a tiny bit. Not too bad. Just a little tiny bit. That's probably because of, you know, a little bit of sweat. Yeah, overall I think it held up really well. Aside from my sunglasses wearing off a little bit, my nose wearing off, maybe these spots right here just lost a little bit of coverage, but overall I don't think that this looks too dry, which was a big concern for me because that's the problem I've had with the faux filter products in the past. And I think that this looks pretty good. Matte products typically are a complete full stop no-go for me, and I think this actually looks great. I don't love the performance around my nose, but as far as my under eyes and the rest of my face goes, I think it looks fantastic. I'm not mad. All in all, I am really impressed by the performance of this concealer. First and foremost, I thought the shades they sent me were going to be too dark and too golden. I looked at the shades on the Sephora site, and I definitely would have gone for a lighter shade had I ordered this for myself. But after wearing this all day and seeing it here now, I do think that this shade that I'm wearing, Coconut Flakes 2.7N, is a great match for me. It definitely looks just like my skin tone to me, so keep that in mind if you decide to order this. Maybe just go up a shade. I don't know. I would have ordered the wrong shade, so just keep that in mind if you decide to order. Also, with this being a Luminous Matte. I am incredibly impressed how this applied, how it blended into my skin, and how it wore all day, especially because I did not set this with anything. No powder, no setting spray. I was pretty rough on this concealer today, and I think it held up beautifully. I don't remember the last time I gave a matte finish face product, like foundation or concealer face product, a good review and a dry skin friendly review on my channel. Wasn't expecting it to be this, but I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. I feel that the claims about the customizable coverage are 100% true. The faux filter products of the past have been way too much coverage for me, and I just don't like that. I don't think it looks flattering on me, and it's not my own personal style. So to be able to wear this with a little bit less coverage, however, it definitely was buildable since I did layer it up a little bit just to experiment with that. I started really light and I was able to build up the medium coverage very easily. I am very pleasantly surprised, very impressed. Probably still won't be wearing it on my nose area, but I can absolutely see this becoming a part of my daily routine, especially I'm about to go to an outdoor wedding, a southern outdoor wedding in June, and I need something that's going to be able to hold up to sweat, and I think that this is the product for that for me. So this came just in the nick of time, and I have to say I really like this. A dry skin friendly faux filter product. Who knew? Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this concealer. Are you interested? Are you going to be picking this up? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts, all your favorite concealers, everything down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Application demo. Application's not even a hard word to say. I don't know. Hello? Is this thing on? No, it's not. Get it together, lady. It's been a long day. I got a really long week ahead of me. I just can't even think about that. Sometimes it's a lot. Got a lot going on. Got a lot going on right now. It'll be fine. It'll totally be fine. Not sure which one of us I'm trying to convince. Look at these little casually sweaty cheeks. They've worn pretty well. I mean, the color's definitely worn off, but I did do an extra application, an extra dramatic blush application earlier today, and it still looks pretty good, I think. I'm drinking a Sprite. I'm definitely going to drink a bunch of water, though, before I go out walking, because it is super hot. Even this morning when we took her out on her early morning walk, which early morning, I mean, it was like 9 o'clock. It wasn't that early, but it was still even hot then, so we'll see. Okay. Anyway, see you then. See you later. Bye. It is about 85 degrees outside. I realize, I know I can already hear the comments from everybody who lives in like Texas and Arizona, like 85 isn't hot. It's still hot. I'm sure it was way hotter wherever somebody is going to comment from today, and that is fine. It's not a how hard are you contest. It is a wear test. I always just find that so weird too, because this is a side note. Whenever I say like, oh, it's 85, it's really hot, and somebody's like, oh, it's not, that's not hot, 115 is hot. It's like, well, you probably get your winter coat out when it's 70 degrees, and we don't start wearing our winter coats until it's like 30, and it probably never snows where you are. So it's just different. It's fine. It's fine. I'm allowed to be hot when it's 85 degrees and sunny and I'm walking my dog and the sun's beaming down on me and I'm sweating glitter off my eyes. Anyway, let's get back to the check-in, shall we? I definitely have glitter fallout all over. But the thing is, my eyeshadow still looks really good. I've definitely had some of the shimmers fall out, but the eyeshadow itself still looks good. It doesn't look all faded and wrinkled, and you know, it hasn't disappeared. So, c'est la vie. That's what happens when you wear really sparkly eyeshadow sometimes. And that's fine with me. I can handle it. I'm gonna go wash my face now, and I just desperately want to do some skincare and shower after being so busy and hot all day. And I just want you to know that I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate you, and I love your face, and I think that you're awesome and you're doing a good job. You're the best. Okay, I'll see you soon. I'll see you in my next one. I'll be back. I hope you're back. I love your face. Okay, bye.